Hey there, my fellow lunatics. Dakon the Mad here, and today I want to go over the Hive Mother. What is she like? How do you defeat her? What are her mechanics? Everything like that. So this is kind of a beginner's guide to teach you a little bit about the Hive Mother fight, as well as some ways that one can deal with the fight itself, and what is, in my opinion, the best way to beat her. So first of all, this is the Hive Mother's arena. Consists of her sigil in the middle, as well as these 5 little spawn points where she has these hive eggs, which will slowly grow and eventually pop, releasing a bunch of various ads. These ads can consist of larvae, giant larvae, as well as the acid larvae that roll over to you and then explode, dealing acid damage. You can destroy the eggs before they finish growing, and if you do that, then none of the ads will spawn. So that is one way to deal with the ads when you're doing the fight. Let's go ahead and spawn the Hive Mother herself here real quick so that you can see what she looks like. Now, the Hive Mother is not aggressive. You have to attack her in order for her to start the fight. But once the fight starts, there are a couple of things that occur. The eggs will immediately start to spawn, and she will start spitting a kind of like a mortar shell of acid. And when it hits you, it will do acid damage to the surrounding area, putting acid tiles around so that you now have a hazardous terrain that you have to deal with. So during the fight, things you have to look out for are you have to dodge her acid mortar attack. You have to stay out of the pits of acid that start to get created everywhere from that attack. You have to deal with the eggs that are growing by either destroying the eggs before they hatch or killing all of the larvae after they hatch. And on top of that, you have to attack the Hive Mother herself. This makes her one of the hardest bosses in the early game because there are a lot of mechanics going on and a lot of things that you have to do in order to properly fight her. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this fight real quick with my main character just so that you can get an example of what the fight is like. But be aware, I have like 6,000 hit points that you can't even get this anymore in the game, so this is not a fair assessment. I'm also geared out like crazy in end game gear. I'm going to kill her in a couple of hits. So we're going to actually go over a good way to fight her when you aren't geared out like I am, but I just want to show you what the mechanics of the fight are like. So let's get things started. So here's that mortar attack. You can see it spits out every few seconds. It's very easy to dodge. Here's the eggs. They're creating these little larvae. Let's see if we can get another one to spawn here soon. Let's attack her a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, if I attack, you can see... Oh man, I did that way too fast. Let's do that a little slower next time. Come on, spawn another egg. There we go. So the egg has hit points. And as I hit it, I'm gonna get that red bar down. Oh, I didn't do it in time. If you need to deal with this acid, I highly recommend bringing an iron hoe with you. The scarlet one here you won't have access to, but you will at least have access to the iron one, which does do at least an increased range. And so that way you can get more than one acid pit dug up before things get out of hand. And if you do it with the hoe instead of the shovel, again, you can do more than one tile at a time, and you don't risk actually digging up the ground itself, which can make the terrain difficult for you to move around in. So let's just go ahead and end this fight now. As you can see, this is the general fight itself. You have to dodge everything. You have to kill creatures. You have to take care of all this stuff all at once. Very difficult fight to do, especially when she reaches half health. She goes into overload mode and starts spitting out the acid constantly. And 2 eggshells start to spawn at the same time. So the fight becomes much, much harder. If you're doing this alone and you're under geared, this fight is almost impossible to do. So I'm going to show you guys next the best way to actually deal with this fight. So I've got a newbie character here. I've only got a couple hundred hit points. My stats are absolutely terrible. Although, hey, you know what? Let's put this point in ranged here. And my gear is also pretty much brand new. So what I want to do here is I want to show you a nice way, well, an easy way to be able to defeat the Hive Mother. Because she is a difficult boss, especially when you are a lower level character. What I have done here is I've cleaned out her spawn area a little bit to give us a little bit of room. And then I went counting from the first tile next to her sigil. I go over 14 tiles. And then I stand on the 15th tile. And then what I'm doing is I basically cut out an area here at 15 tiles away where I've got a little island. I can't be hit by melee attacks. So what I end up doing is let's go ahead and spawn the Hive Mother here because she's not going to attack us by default. She's here. She's doing her thing. And when I'm ready to attack her, I'm going to get rid of this bridge and then I'm just going to shoot her with my bow. Now, because I'm standing on bridges here and because I'm so far away, she's not going to hit me with her acid attack. However, I'm still going to be able to do damage to her. And her adds are not going to be able to attack me with melee damage. However, they are going to get in the way, so we are going to have to deal with them. This is a very easy, almost, some would call it a cheesy way of doing it, but I think that this is a way of manipulating the terrain the way the game developers intended in order for us to be able to be clever and defeat her using our wits, not just brute force. So I'm essentially manipulating the terrain, again, in a way that the developers completely intended, so that we can defeat the Hive Mother with ease. This is not a quick way to defeat the Hive Mother, though. This is going to take a while to be able to defeat her. Now, first let's take a look at the gear that I have. My weapon is the iron bow, which before you have defeated the first 3 bosses, this is pretty much the strongest ranged weapon in the game. Then I've got a full set of iron armor that I have reinforced at the repair bench. And all of this armor, again, is easy to acquire if you have unlocked iron in the stone biome. Then I've got the gold crystal necklace, as well as the gold crystal rings. Both of these items can be acquired by making them at the jewelry workbench, so they are craftable. My inventory is just Gorm's stomach bag. It's got 12 slots. It's probably one of the best bags you can get this early in the game. And then this is probably the hardest item to get. This is the blue leather tome. You get this by defeating Malagaz, who is a boss that is in the stone biome. I completely understand if you can't get this and you have to use something else like really, there's nothing better. The ancient feather or a shield are going to be your other options, or maybe something that gives you some glow. But if you've got torches around, there's really nothing this early in the game that you can put into this offhand slot that is useful other than the blue leather tome. So this is a hard item to get, especially this early in the game, but you can get it before you defeat the Hive Mother. Also, I recommend having a second iron bow because you will go through the entire durability, including your first bow is going to break before this fight's over. So you're going to need at least 2 bows. I recommend that you reinforce both of them as well. All right, let's take a brief second here to talk about the cooking and the food that you're going to want. First off, we have the Hearty Guppy Fillet. Now, this is going to give you extra hit points, and it's going to give you a dodge chance. Now, you're not going to really need the dodge chance, but hey, you know what? Just in case the mortar attack does happen, like I said, it didn't happen for me, but it could happen for you. So, never hurts to have some dodge. You need the Heartberry for that, and you need the Blue Cave Guppy. The heartberry is pretty common around the dirt biome, and the blue cave guppy can be fished up anywhere in the dirt biome as well. Our next item is going to be the gooey worm fish balls. And these give you a range damage boost as well as a critical hit chance. And to make that, you're going to need larva meat, which you get from killing larvae throughout the clay caverns biome, as well as the devil worm, which can be fished up again in the clay caverns biome. And the last food item we're going to want to have here is the greenstone dip snack. This basically just makes you immune to acid damage. It also gives you an armor boost, which is nice just in case we get hit. But the immunity to the acid damage is the big booster, again, just in case that mortar shell goes off. It probably won't, but if you do get hit with it, it's nice to not ever have to worry about actually taking damage. So with those 3 foods, you will be ready to go. So you need the food, and here are some heal potions just in case we do get hit with an acid attack. We can heal ourselves up a bit, as well as having the shovel here so that if for some weird reason any acid stays on the bridge, which it shouldn't, but if it does, you can dig it up real quick with your iron shovel. All right, let's start this attack, and you will see it's going to take a while. Also, I don't recommend attacking the eggs that grow. You're not going to be able to destroy them before they hatch, so don't waste your time trying to attack them when they're just going to break anyway. Just keep your focus on the Hive Mother and then kill these adds as quickly as you can and get right back to the Hive Mother. Also, at first, you'll notice that there's not a lot of adds. I'm getting a lot of attacks on the Hive Mother. That is going to change because the other spots are creating mobs right now. They're just on the far left side. They're off screen. You can't see them, and they're kind of building up a little bit. Eventually, we are going to reach a critical mass point where a lot of those mobs are going to start moving their way over to the side of the screen, and I'm going to have to start dealing with them. I'll be spending a lot more time focusing on the mobs pretty soon than I will on the Hive Mother. But eventually we will clear them out and we'll be able to keep getting back to damaging the Hive Mother herself. I also recommend trying to aim your arrow so that you can hit more than one mob at a time whenever possible. Clears them out faster and just lets you get back to damaging the Hive Mother sooner. So you can see we've already got her below half health. She's in her enraged state. And this is actually going pretty good for me so far. I haven't had a lot of adds spill over yet, but you can see they are starting to at this point. And there it is. Hive Mother is down. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but I just did all of this in a hard mode world. So this is all done in hard mode with a character that has no stats, no hit points, isn't overpowered in any way. So I hope this helps you if you're new to the game and you're trying to figure out a way to get past the Hive Mother. This tactic works great. And while it does take a little while to kill her, it does it with the least effort on your part. You just got to get enough damage built up to be able to take care of those adds when they come and bring the Hive Mother down at a decent enough speed. I did try doing this with some different gear that was a little lower on the damage level. I had focused more on like dodging or just in case I got hit by the acid attacks. Acid attacks, as you saw, never happened. And so I found that without the focus on DPS, it just wasn't enough to take her down quick enough, and I got overwhelmed. There were just too many adds. I was constantly killing them, and I wasn't able to actually attack her. So that's why I went with this suit. And that's kind of why I highly recommend, if you can, get your hands on the blue leather tome. The Malagaz fight is not easy to do, especially at this level, but it is doable. I will put together another video on how to do the Malagaz fight, assuming that you've never done him before. So just stay tuned for that one as well. And I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future content. And please be sure to leave a comment if you have any questions about how to handle this fight or just really anything else in general. And until next time, stay crazy.